Are we live? Are we live? Hey, welcome everybody to the Stage Crew Live. Awesome. Appreciate you when you're if you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to let you know that you can go ahead and comment on the side of the video, or we have this amazing comment page that we have created to everybody have a place to comment. Also in there's a link down below. You can join us there in the comments page as well. So my name is Katie Stage, and with me is my dad, Chris Stage, and we are the father-daughter duo, and we're traveling around the U.S. in an RV. And actually today I am not with my dad. Usually I'm right on the other side of the RV there. When we're doing these hangouts, yeah, I'm usually over there. But I'm actually in fact stationed at my sister's house, helping her with the two love of my lives, which is my 4-year-old niece and my 3-year-old niece, because her babysitter just had a new baby. So that's what's so cool about having this kind of like this freedom lifestyle, that I get to take a vacation from my dad to go hang out with my nieces. No, I'm just kidding, Dad. I'm going to be so grounded. So, but anyways, Pops is here. He's actually stationed up north in Babbitt, Minnesota, where my brother lives. So go ahead and say a quick hello, Pops.
Hi everybody. And the vacation is reciprocal. It's kind of nice and quiet here. No, actually, I do miss you, Katie. You keep me in line. I haven't misbehaved much. So,
you know, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that, because I like the first few days that I was here, I didn't walk at all. And you're the one that usually say, hey, you want to go for a walk? I'm like, in my head, I'm totally saying, fuck no. I mean, no. And then, and I actually come with you because I know that it's really important to stay healthy. Okay. But tonight, Pops is actually going to talk about, that being said, he's going to talk about how to take inspired action. So I just wanted to let you know, Pops, that you do inspire me a lot to take really good, healthy actions. You help me a lot in my business and to move forward and to help me take action, because you believe in me so much, and I appreciate that. So with that being said, when you guys are coming in the comments, we'll just say hello to you. And I just want to say hi, Dave. Thank you for being here. And before I turn it over to Pops, actually, there is going to be, if you go on our comments page, if you're not there already, there is going to be the next follow-up show of Rocket Rick. So I want you to go over there and check that out when we're done here. The little banner will pop up in a little bit later. Also on that page, that you'll notice there is a recommended marketing system. Now, Pops and I have been part of this recommended marketing system for quite some time now, and it has allowed us the tools to use to build our business in a way where we can create this freedom lifestyle that we have today, which is amazing. I don't know exactly what your freedom lifestyle looks like, but what we can help you with and what we can provide for you, I hope, you know what I mean? We have to figure out what you need and see if we actually have it in order to help you create that freedom lifestyle, whatever that means to you. So with that, Pops, go ahead and take over, and we'll talk about taking inspired action.
Awesome. And taking inspired action is like one of the most important things you can do in anything that you do. If you don't take action, then nothing gets done, right? So have you ever had a hunch or a feeling that you should be doing something and then don't do it, only to find out later that you really should have done it? And then you beat yourself up, or you say, oh boy, I missed an opportunity. But that's common. The majority of the people do that fairly often. And the difference between those who realize their dreams and those that don't is inspired action. They're accustomed to taking inspired action, and they schedule themselves to real heavy schedule, like real strict schedules. I know, of course, in our space, we are internet marketing, and we want to see our successes happen sooner rather than later. So the sooner you do take inspired action, when you have the inkling to do something that would take you towards your goals, do it right away. don't wait unless you're driving or, you have kids that you need to attend to right away. But, often I carry a notebook with me all the time with a pen. And of course, you can do a voice recording on your phone or send yourself a message. If something comes to mind, you can leave yourself a note and do it then as soon as you possibly can, because that's what inspired actions normally are. They're just kind of like an intuitive thing. Sometimes it'll bonk you right in the head, and sometimes it's just a little nudge. You never know. And the key to focusing on your goals and then taking action towards them is when you realize what you really desire, what you really want in life, whether it be car, money, a goal, how many people you have on your team, or whatever, or even personal life. Taking that inspired action will come automatically if you don't think about your goal all the time. So you think about your goal and then you let it go. You just release it and you don't focus on it, and you'll start taking action towards it, and you'll start getting intuitive thoughts coming to you on what you can do to keep going towards those goals. And the reason I say you let it go is that the more you think about something, it sounds counterintuitive, but the more you think about it, in actuality, it'll create a feeling of lack in your subconscious so that you don't have it. And if your subconscious thinks that you are thinking about it because you don't have it and don't want it, then it won't give it to you. I know it sounds weird. I've been reading this stuff for a long time, and I'm a professional coach, and it is what it is, folks. That's how it works. Your subconscious is there to protect you, and if you, it's kind of funny that people who are in the lower income bracket are always talking about how much they paid for something or how much they didn't have to pay for something, because they're always focusing on money. Instead of letting it go, it's always on the forefront of their mind about, money, 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 money. I got to have money. I really want money. And instead of taking action towards it, they just sit and think about it, right? People that have money have taken action to get to that money. And they don't focus on the money. They focus on the actions that need to be taken in order to get there. I experienced that many times in my life, including money. But there was a house I wanted, and it took a couple of times to apply for that house through the VA. They denied me first, and then I had an inspiration. Well, they denied me actually because it was a duplex, and I could not show, or they asked me if I had any experience as a landlord, and I had to say, no, I don't have the experience as a specific landlord. So they denied me because, part of the income from the apartment was going to go towards the mortgage and the qualification. So they denied me. And then I'm thinking, I know my dad had some stuff to do with apartments, and I'm babbling here. And so we talked about it, and so I reapplied, and my dad wrote a letter saying that I helped him, with maintaining his income property and dealing with the tenants here and there. And then to bolster my application, I went to my supervisor. I was then working at the post office, and I had been doing some acting supervisory, if you want to call it that. I was a truck driver with radio dispatch, and so I would sit in the dispatch and do dispatching. So he wrote a letter saying that I have been doing filling in for supervisory, and he's looking forward to me excelling in this position and then becoming a supervisor. So between those two letters, I put them and I reapplied, and I got it. Because I got this inspiration. I could have just said, oh, damn, I'm not going to get this house. I got to keep looking. And so just it popped in, and I wasn't concentrating on getting a house. I had could have said, oh, you know, a letdown, but it really wasn't. It's not a letdown, it's a lesson. It's a lesson that you could be learned that there are other ways to approach a solution instead of giving up on it right away. And that's the inspiration and taking inspired action when something comes to your head. It's amazing. It's amazing. And the more I learned about this stuff, of course, the more I thought about it in the past, even with the vehicle I drive now was kind of an interesting experience too. You know, I went looking for a different type of vehicle, but not as big or as heavy as this one. And the salesman didn't have anything I was looking for. And we just happened, Katie and I, we were driving into Hudson and just happened to stop to look at vehicles for the heck of it. And I had previously already given up on it. So I already let go of the fact that I was beating myself around looking for this vehicle that I wanted a lot. So I was looking on the internet. I was looking in lots. I'd go look at lots or I'd call them up. And I finally said to myself, you know, damn it, I'm just going to this truck, my truck will come to me. It'll eventually come to me. And I'm not going to worry about it. And so we went to Hudson. We were there to deliver something. And we had time left early enough to swing by. I just wanted to swing by and look. And the salesman said, oh, we don't have, you know, a half-ton diesel. We just don't have one. And so he said, but we do have a 3/4 ton. If you want to take a look at it, we just got it in. It's a beautiful truck. And I know that's not what you're looking for because he's a salesman. He knows what he's doing. He got me back there. And it wasn't even detailed yet. It had just been traded in. And so I looked at it, and this thing was gorgeous. It's a beautiful truck, and he's right. That's not quite what I was looking for. It's pretty heavy. And it's a 1 ton. And I decided, nah, I don't know. He said, well, you know, yeah, if something comes up, I'll call you. He had my number and all that stuff. So I went home, and my concern about this truck mainly was that it would ride like a buckboard, that it would, you know, the old bouncing around a lot because I had a heavy truck before. And I started looking at trying to solve how I could get this truck without being tossed out of the seat all the time, because I really liked this truck. Low miles, it already had set up for fifth wheel like I wanted eventually down the road. And so I found in a forum where guys were saying, yeah, this 1 ton is just rough as hell. So one guy posted, he said, you know, I heard that I was looking the same thing, looking for a 1 ton and didn't want to do it because of that. But then somebody said, when you put a cover on it, you know, like a fiberglass cover on the back, it puts the weight in the back and it's not so heavy. Or, you know, it squats a little bit and it rides better. So, man, immediately I thought, that makes sense, because I have in the wintertime living in Minnesota thrown sandbags at the back of my trucks before to get better traction. So I called up the guy, what was his name? John. I called him up and I said, dude, I want to know if that truck is still there. He said, yeah, it's still here. It hasn't been detailed yet. I said, I want to come and look at it again. Okay. So I beat feet right back there. Kate went with me and we sat down and talked to him, and I bought it because it was just the right truck for me. But I let it go. I wasn't concentrating on it. It's just amazing stuff. So, and taking inspired action is so important to reaching our goals. I encourage you to read up on it. Look up. You can Google it on YouTube, on blogs. All the if you want to call them gurus, self-development people, they talk about it a lot. Inspired action, and of course setting your goals. But they too will say, you know, let them go. And I have been asked before by some of my clients, but what do I do if I let go? Is one question. Another one is, if I let go, don't I just sit there? And that was kind of funny. No. Does this, and also, doesn't it seem contrary to action? And that, yeah, it does. But again, the answer is that allowing things to be manifested it just through inspiration and through intuitiveness. It leads to a feeling of peace and trust that, this stuff is going to come to you. If you're concerned about your goal or what you want so much, it doesn't leave your mind open to receive the inspiration or the intuitiveness that you need in order to get yourself to that point. So, because you have to take action. You can't just, it's not going to come to you. You have to take the action, whether it be, in my case, get a hold of salesmen and tell them I want to come see it again. Take an action to go just stop in and look, actually, because I had this feeling that I should leave early and go stop there just to see. And there it was. And I didn't know why I was driven to leave early. I could have done a million other things because I always have a plate, several plates full of stuff to do. But I decided that, I'm just going to go swing by there. And there's 3 car lots there. And the first one I went to was Ford, only because it was the closest one. Had Chevy been the closest one, I might have stopped there first. I don't know, but there's this Ford truck that I'm driving now that Kate and I drive, and it's all set up for the 5th wheel. It's perfect. If it was a half ton like I wanted, it probably wouldn't have been heavy enough because we already squat a little bit, so the headlights are, up a little bit. Nobody really, a couple people flash their headlights at me because they think I have my high beams on, but that doesn't happen very often. In the whole year we've been traveling with this truck, I think 2 people did it. 3 people, 1 guy, and it was midday. I thought, what are you doing, man? I don't have, and because we always run with our headlights on anyway. And it turned out to be that there was deer. There was deer about a mile down the road, a half mile down the road. So he was flashing his lights to let us know something's going on down there. And they'll do that for police. If there's a radar set up somewhere, people will flash their lights to let you know something's going on. So anyway, I would like to turn this over to Katie for a little bit. And she has some really cool stuff that she wants to go over with you.
Well, thanks, Pops. And I actually appreciate all the stories that you just shared with us, because it reminded me of all the times that I've listened to my intuition and gone with my gut and taken that, inspiration that had popped in my head and just kind of went with it and seen what would happen. So I think that's from the lesson that by the way, I really love that quote. It's not a letdown, it's a lesson. And I think that's the lesson that I just learned from what you were saying, Pops, is that just take that inspired action. And how do you do that? You just take something that you are given by the universe or by God or whatever you want to call it. You're given this this idea and just do it. I've actually thought about it today where I'm like, if anybody who knows how to market just one thing, if they know from A to Z, from how to target, well, actually the A would be, what do I have to offer, to who is my target market, to how do I get this information in front of people, and how do I, how can I make money doing it? How can I monetize it? How can I get this out there so I can not only change the lives of other people, but how to make money doing that as well, and finding my passion, finding my purpose in life. And then all the way to, how can I duplicate this to help other people out? Maybe, and this is where a lot of businesses do start, how they form, right, Dad? It's like, it's interesting how a lot of these inspired actions can turn into something to make your mark in the world, right? And I think that when people realize that the easiest part is to learn the marketing and get that out there, once you know that marketing, you can sell anything, honestly. And any inspired action that you have, you can take quicker action, find out what the marketplace, how it reacts to it, to find out if it's going to be the thing, right? And you can have several things that could turn into multiple income streams. And it's just like a snowball effect of that instead of having a snowball effect of, well, gosh, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I have this thing. I'm not exactly sure what to do with it. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost. Because once I figured out how, what's that? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Dave put something in the comments that I think is important to throw out here. And he was talking about some people will wait for others to take action before they take action. And that's very true. The problem with that is that they're taking action towards their goals. You don't know if they're taking action. If you're, if your goals are the same, if you're going to get the same intuition, you're going to get the same signals on who to talk to or what to do, because we're all different. We all have different paths that we take. So it's like, it's like hanging around with the gang at school. You're going to go and smoke a joint because they're smoking a joint, and if you don't, they get busted and you're saved, or you go with them and everybody gets busted, including you, and you happen to be the oldest one. So now you're the one responsible. Or having a drink or staying, whatever. And I'm throwing negative stuff out there because the consequences could be the same. You may never reach your goal if you try to follow somebody else or wait for somebody else to take action. They may look like they're taking action, but they're just spinning their wheels too, and you don't know that. So you got to pay attention to your own signals, your own intuition, and act on that. Again, thanks, Kate.
No, I think that's a really good point, because it reminded me of a quote that our buddy Mark Dale said. I remember him talking about this before. He says, you can stand in front of me and tell me all the things that you're going to do until you're blue in the face. But when you keep talking, after a while, I'm just going to look down and I'm just going to watch your feet to see if they're actually going to move. Isn't that cool? I absolutely love it when he said that. It just gives me goosebumps thinking about that again. And it inspired me, keyword, it inspired me to take action, because I realized that I was doing a lot of this. I felt like I was being productive. I was doing a lot of this stuff where I felt like I was being productive, but I was looking down at my feet and they weren't moving. I felt like I was stuck in one place. So however, I should say that a lot of the stuff that I did do in the past when I felt stuck, I believe it was the right action that I took, because I did actually take action. I was actually working towards something to try to figure it out, because some of you may or may not know my part of the story, and Pops's, story, sorry, is that we got into this industry, this marketing online space, without any real mentors. We had a lot of these training videos. We had to take these videos and try to put the pieces together, put them in order. And it took us a while to figure this whole online thing out and building a business online to get out there. So what I was doing is I was taking action, but I was kind of out of order. Let's just say that. And I didn't realize until years later that if I just kind of like gave up and say, you know what, someone should be helping me, it's not my fault that I have been battling with this, trying to figure this out for so long that, I'm not putting the blame on somebody else is what I'm saying. I took the responsibility on my own and learned as much as I possibly could and tried to figure this thing out. Right. And I realized that taking those, getting inspired on ideas and just seeing what happens and making those mistakes, I think it's a beautiful thing. And because we do get those lessons. So when we go through those trials and errors and stuff like that, what helps, like for me, I'm with my own experience. And if you are sitting there and you're saying, well, I've made a lot of these mistakes, I don't even know, I feel like every time I take one step forward, I'm 2 steps back. But don't be discouraged, because all of those mistakes and all of those trials and errors that you have experienced so far, you're going to help somebody kind of take that step forward, and maybe they'll make their own mistakes on their own. That's totally fine. But at least you can say, hey, don't do this way. This is what I did and I made the huge mistake, but try to do this way instead. And this is what I learned. And that's what's so cool about taking those inspired actions, just basically blindfold, and figuring out if it's going to work or not, because then you can turn that around and show somebody else saying, you know what, this is where I got the most results. And I think this is going to work for you because, you know, maybe we have the same personality, maybe we have the same kind of niche type person or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like if it's something that is totally relatable, you can give them those action steps and inspire other people even more to help them out. But if you are sitting here and you're like, okay, Katie, that's awesome. Pops, I think I love your stories. This is so great. I'm feeling inspired, but what do I do with it? I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to do with these action steps. So if it's okay with you, Pops, and by the way, thanks, Dave, for commenting in there. I think you're a brilliant person as well. You inspire us every single day. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. I'm speaking for Pops as well.
Yeah, every day.
Yep. So I want to I'm going to share my screen, and let me go, and I'm going to do some typers stuff, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to open up Paint, so everybody should probably see Paint right now.
Yes.
Pretty sure you can. Yes? Okay, great. So this is just a free tool we have on our PCs. So I'm just going to type these out, and I'm going to help you out. If you're feeling stuck and you're like, okay, I'm inspired, what do I do? What I want you to do, this is really fun, is I want you to track your activities. So if you feel like you're taking those 2 steps or 1 step forward and you feel like you're taking 2 steps back, I think one of the biggest battles that we network marketers face is it's time management and the art of being consistent. It's that major skill that I still struggle with, to be consistent. I have overcome a lot of schedule issues, and I've fixed that. I have since fixed that. But hey, you know, sometimes there's something new that pops up and I think it's a really good idea. I act on that inspired action. And then I'm like, maybe I don't see results right away, or maybe I do, and I'm not really sure if this is the right way, and I'm hemming and hawing, and this is the kind of stuff that goes through my head. So what I start to do is, you know, if I feel like I'm not being consistent and I'm not really tracking my activities, and I feel like I'm not being productive, I track my activities and find out what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to get yourself out there, to build your audience, to build that legacy, and most important, to make more money, right? Because we all want to make more money. Here's a list of the things that that we do that we think is being productive, but it's not, right? What are we doing? We're checking our emails. Is that being productive? Are we aimlessly scrolling Facebook? Guilty as charged listening to, okay? I know. Is it checking your stats on your affiliate program? You know, like I can't spell, sorry. I mean, I really could. Affiliate, see? You could check your affiliate stats in your back office when you, in hopes to make a commission, even though you know you haven't yet. Is that being productive? No. What else is there? I think you guys get the point. You know, checking any other social media, right? You can check. Woman, I know I can't multitask. I'm a woman and I'm admitting that. So checking any other social media, YouTube, Twitter, you know, and if your status update on Facebook or any other social media is literally, I need to find Netflix. Got any ideas? In your productivity department, honestly, right? So big X. Oh, that's not right. Unless it's market research, but come on, guys, you got to be honest with yourself. That's not being productive. So track your activities. How much time are you actually wasting when you feel like you're being productive? You're doing these things because you feel like you don't want to do the hard stuff. You don't want to admit to yourself that maybe you don't know what to do next, and that's okay. We've all been there. Heck, I've been there so many times that I know that I need to ask for help when I don't know what to do next. And that's what's important. So if you guys don't have that person that you can go to, like, who is just, could be just one step, that's all they have to be, is that one step ahead of you. And you can ask, what do I do? Right? So that's really important. I want you guys to get that.
Dave has two good ones in here. One is going out for a ciggy every 5 minutes. And cleaning your environment before you start. You know, for you people that are OCD, got to have everything clean before you can start. So that's a great excuse. No. Now, we're all guilty. I'm not trying to criticize. I want to be first to let you know. I just, you know, it's comical. So you got to kind of laugh at yourself. Don't get mad. Just fix it.
Right. So I think it's tedious. I'm telling you to track your activities, but if you do that, even just for like, I'm telling you a half a day, you're going to see right away where you are lacking in productivity, right? So you guys get the point. So number 2, what I have here, let's open this a little bit more, is consider using the Pomodoro technique. So basically what that is you take a timer and you set yourself a timer. It's typically, this was invented by a guy of a name I can't really pronounce in the 1980s. So what you do is you put a timer and you time yourself typically with 25 minutes with a period of in between. Okay, and within that time, you just get up, shake, do your back to it, patting your brain. You will become more productive than you'll know. I'm telling you, in that 25 minutes done, then you can all day. I kid you not. Sorry, I almost burped again. Okay, it really does work. Okay. So if you need to, you can Google the Pomodoro technique or whatever, but I basically just explained what it basically is. So just time yourself. In those 25 minutes, when that time is up, go for a walk. Because, you know, you got to be healthy. You got to do that. Just go out, go for a walk, clear your head, and then come back and then set the timer again. Right? If you have to go do laundry or something, then, you know, go do that quick and then come back and do another 25 minutes. But have that discipline to do that. Okay. Number 3 is start with the biggest task first. Right. So basically what that does, which it's really easy for me, and I know that I want to start with the smallest task first, because in my logical brain says it's easier to get that done, and I feel like I can get 20 things done in like such a short amount of time instead of doing the big one, because I want to get the little things done first. It just feels good because I know I can get that done. Right? I don't know if you're like that too, but you know, here's the thing. I realize with myself in this this way of taking the biggest task first, I feel like I feel like I'm more accomplished than I have ever felt just doing the little things first. I feel like I am more accomplished taking one big task that could take me like, I don't know, like this Pomodoro technique. If I take like 3 of those to get it done, but it's done, I feel more accomplished than doing the 10 little things. That's so easy to do. It just feels better. It just feels like there's just, you know, you guys get that, what that means, right? It just feels good. If you don't get it, then I want you to try it and then get back to me and see how that is, right? And I promise you it's going to work. Now I'm going to go over to the SWOT analysis, which means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Hey, I looked at it as treats, and I'm like, yes, I would love to have a treat. Okay, so strengths is characteristics of the business or project that gives you an advantage over others. What are your strengths? The weaknesses is pretty self-explanatory, is our characteristics that place the team or something that you're working on at a disadvantage relative to others. And then opportunities is the elements that the project could exploit to its advantage. And then threats is obviously the elements in the environment that could cause trouble for the business or project, aka watching Netflix, checking social media. Those are threats. They're not helping you. So track your activities. So the identification of the SWOT, should I call it SWOT? Like an English accent, SWOT, is important because they can inform later steps in planning to achieve the objective. So when you go over this and you find the strengths and weaknesses, this will help you understand where you need to improve so you can procrastinate less. Find out what those are. I think what they usually say is that if you have something that you can do in your sleep, hire that out. If you have weaknesses where you think you can improve on, you should focus on that while you hire out some of your strengths. I think there's a G there. Okay. But if there's something that you do very, very well, and it's a huge strength where you have to be present, like being on Facebook Lives, obviously you don't need to hire that out because you got to show up. If that's Facebook Live is your weakness, that's where you got to focus on. And maybe you can hire somebody to, write your blog posts. So I'm just throwing ideas there, right? Now, if you're in the position where you don't know how to hire people, or maybe you don't have the money to hire people, then you can do what I did. And you're basically you're wearing so many freaking hats that you turn your strengths into something that you can monetize, and you can turn your weaknesses into better strengths, into something you can be comfortable with, and keep finding those weaknesses and keep tweaking yourself. And I'm telling you, more opportunities will show up and less threats. They'll go away. I'm telling you. Okay. So that brings me into number 5. What time have we got? Okay. I hope we have it. Okay. Be a control freak. Be a control freak. You have my permission. Be a control freak. Use your own site. Like what we do, we have a site that we use. Use your own site as much as possible. And don't rely on free sites. So I'm talking about social media. Okay, utilize social media. Now, don't get me wrong here. Just hear me out for a second. This is going to be interesting, okay? So what we do is Pops, me and Pops and I, Dad and I don't know, whatever, English. We have a website that we have. We have our own website. We have our own blog site that we use, and we own that. We don't own social media. You don't own social media. I don't own social media. I have, we own our site, we own our blog site, and we own our email list. That's what we own. So don't rely on the free sites. It's very tempting to build up a YouTube channel or to rely on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Like I said, any of those is fine. I'm not saying to stop marketing on those sites, but to use your own sites and blogging platform for your for you personally, not a company page, right? Get yourself out there, detach yourself from relying on the company to, because the products don't sell themselves. You have to sell the product, because people don't join companies or buy products because of the item. They buy it because of you, right? So take ownership of, be a control freak, take ownership and create your own site. Something with your name on it to have all of your stuff in one place. Because I'm a huge believer of multi-stream income streams. So you can have it all in one place. And if you rely on social media sites, you're basically, let's just think about this, just to get kind of biblical here, that if you rely on social media sites, you're laying a foundation of sand or quicksand, because I got to be honest with you, the terms and conditions change constantly. So instead of, think of using these free sites as a support. So you lay your foundation, let's just say your blog and your website is your rock foundation, and social media is maybe the mortar. How do I spell mortar? Mortar? How do you spell mortar? Blue. Perfect. Sand. that goes in between. Yeah, thanks, Dad. So it goes in between into the rock foundations to keep it even more solid, right? So be a control freak and just take ownership of that. Okay. So number 6, am I running out of space here? We could fit this down here. So number 6 is how many days a week? You're going to tell yourself, you're going to decide tonight how many days a week, daily, weekly, how many days, daily, weekly, right? 1 or 2 days, but more hours, right? How many hours? I should say that, hours. So 1 or 2 days, but only a 1 hour a day? Are you going to do more than 2 hours a day? Are you going to do because, you got to decide how much you're going to use the time that you have to work on your business. And you have to stick to it. Get that schedule out there and stick to it. Be a control freak. Don't make me get on a rant, a tangent. For me, I have been full-time for quite a while now. And in the beginning, I was all over the place. But then I realized that my focus was not in the right place. That's when I took a spreadsheet. I wrote everything down, every task that I was doing. I saw where I was not doing actual work. I humbled myself. I said, I took responsibility, right? So whatever you choose, make that commitment, because you don't want to be in the same position that you are today a year from now. Ask yourself that. Here, let me just write that out. I like that. Do you want to be where you are today? I don't even know if it needs a comma. 1 year from now. I want you to ask yourself that, actually. If it's a no, okay. How about 9 months from now? What about 6 months from now? Do you want to be in the same position that you are now? What, 2 months from now? Right? I'm telling you, if you do this, if you take ownership and you just take charge, I kid you not, I feel like I'm changing every single freaking week. Sometimes half a week, because I take inspired action every single freaking day. And I'm trying to help you figure out how to take that inspired action and just run with it and see what happens. So what if you make mistakes? Like I said, okay? Brings me to my next deal here is, if you have an idea of where you need to make moves, make an outline, right? So you make an outline that can change. That's okay. I used to freak out. I'm like, I don't know if this road's going to take me to my destination that I need, my goal, right? I have a specific goal, and I don't know if this is going to take me there. But you know what? You go and you take that road, because I realize that all roads lead to that destination. All of them do. They really do. Whether you have to stop yourself, back up and take another road, totally fine. That's not a failure. That's a lesson. Just like what Pops was saying. This is not, wait, how was it? What was the quote again? Hold on 1 second. This is not one moment. Oh, it's not a letdown. It is a lesson. It's not a letdown. It's a lesson. Now I can't find my, okay, there we go. I'm going to write that down. It's not a letdown. It's a lesson. Woohoo. All right, cool. So you make an outline of that, and think of it like going on a long road trip. Like I said, you have that set destination, but you don't plan every single second of that journey. You're just looking for that major junction, and you know where you're going, and you turn, and you know what you're doing. And you're going to go do that. Maybe you know when you're going to take a break. Sometimes you got to take a break and just kind of say, you know what? Let's reevaluate, see what's going on. Maybe I got to have some kind of different whatever. Who can I bring in to help me here or there? Or what do I need to do different? That's okay. It changes all the time. That's cool. Which brings me to number 8. I don't know how many I'm going to share here. We got, oh, we're at 8. We're at 45. So what I want you to do is I want you to just start. Okay? You need to start, not just dream. You need to start, not just dream. Okay? Really that simple. Make imperfect action. And the point is to move and act on your idea. Okay? Imperfect, inspired action. Because that idea very well could be the key to your success. But how would you know if you don't start? Right? I think I'm going to stop there for now, if that's cool. I want to see, how do I stop this sharing? Okay. Yeah. Cool. I had a couple more points that I wanted to go over, but we are kind of running out of time. So I believe that, you know, if maybe I'll turn that into a video, and if you guys want the rest of it, because I had 11 of them. So if you want the rest of it, you can reach out to me on Facebook or something, or you can watch me on social media if you're connected with me on social media.
We can stay on this subject for next week too.
Okay.
There's a lot to cover in this area.
Really?
Of
Yep.
taking action and managing time and possibly getting help with all that if need be. Because if you have a dream, you know, all these movies that people watch, and I don't watch movies. I haven't done it in years. And when I was at home with the girls, with my other daughter, and watching Moana and some of the other ones, there's a message in those things. And usually it's to follow your dreams and be yourself and do what you want. And, you know, it's amazing. I love it. I love that these people that are putting these movies together have those messages in there. And it's up to adults actually to tell the kids what these meanings are. And hopefully that's happening around the world, because we also need change in the world. And it's up to us to, you, me, Katie, Dave, Ricky, who's here too. It's up to us to lead the way. And not, so yeah, just come and follow us. We'll help you. You know, and we have the answers if you have the questions. If for some reason we don't have the answer, we know where to get it. And by doing that, then you are going to just, you know, hell, you might even pass us by because you might be able to find more information than we have currently. You just never know. You never know. So take action. Take action. And don't follow somebody else. I just said follow us, but actually join us. Join us and we'll coach you along the way. Go ahead.
Well, there is a couple of things that we do want to put our shameless plug at the end before we head over to Rocket Rick, which you should have the link on the comments page. Should have popped up if you're kind of hopping in a little bit late. It will pop up within 20 minutes or something like that. But that's anyways, is it, well, that's fine for more than 20 minutes, Dad. But I have it on a timer because I can do those fancy things. So,
oh yeah.
That's the next marketing show. As a student, I don't want to say student because Pops doesn't like, you know, I don't know what other word to use. Sorry, Dad, but he is one of in our group, and we teach people how to get out there and take on imperfect, inspired action. And he is a perfect example. So go watch his show. On this page, you know, he does the same thing. On this page too, we do have this recommended marketing system that not only gets you into our group and how to take that idea and just monetize it and just run with it and make a shitload of money if you want. Try to. We do our best to get you out there. It's just you have to kind of, you know, we're not doing the work for you. We give you the ideas so you can take that inspired action and just run with it, which is awesome. So with that being said, I think that's, I don't know, I'm rambling now. I think I'm done. I'm spent. Done. So yeah. So go take a coffee break. Go to the bathroom, you know, and then turn your timer back on to watch Ricky's show, and we'll see you over there. We'll see you in the comments. I guess that's it. Thanks, Pops.
Awesome. Yeah, great show, Kate. Thank you for all that info. That's cool.
Hey, no, thank you for your stories. We love your stories.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We're still live.
Oh, wow, we're still live.
Yeah, I suppose I should push the button and we won't be.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Bye.
See you.